be boastful. Because one thing I know, the people of Sinoe did not make me a senator after they made me a representative, then allow me to be a senator just because of their own ugly face to see here. There must be a reason that as representative for 6 years, they decided to make me the senator. But if you want me to boast, if this is why you call me for, to tell you all that I'm doing and all that I've done, it's boastful. The only thing I will tell you right now, on Friday, that is coming, by the grace of God, because I'm not feeling well, if I have the strength for the road, if that I will push it for another week, I will be dedicating 3 projects, and I will also be turning over to the school system of the county 3 Kilo-bean buses to carry our children to school free of charge. In Diambo, we are dedicating the second high school that I have built in the county. We'll be dedicating that school. That high school will be in the entire district number 3. The entire district number 2. That will be a landmark for our people. Alright? In the entire area there, Diambo, government camp, there is no high school in there. And so that one will contribute immensely to our people. That will be the second high school that I have built. Also, in Flantown, the kids there walked almost 2 hours to go to the bigger town for school, the babies, so that discouraged them from going to school. I'm building the first elementary school there, so at least they can get bigger to have the strength to figure out what they want to do. Into Puta, the seaside of Puta, where car don't reach, we call it Pumo. I'm building the first clinic, because when a pregnant woman ready to come forth, many times it's a problem. They either use Sinoe to take them to Greenville, or they walk long distances before the motorbike is able to receive them. And so, when I go home these few days, I will be dedicating those 3 projects. Now, you already know before, I provided the first 3 buses in the history of our county. I took our children to school, free, they don't pay 1 cent. Those bus stops that we built, they accommodate them during the rain, and the buses come pick them up, drop them to the classes, pick them up, and bring them back. During the election, those buses were sabotaged, and after the election, they could not move. So in a few days, I bought 3 more, and they are parking in my yard as we speak, and they will be taken there to help our children go to school. But this is not what I came for. I did not come to talk about what I am doing home. If I wasn't doing the right thing, you will know. One thing I know in this country, news don't hide. But the good news hide. The bad ones will never hide. And so, I told you long ago that I married the people of Sinoe. And what did that mean? The remaining of my life is spent on helping to improve the livelihood of our people in the county. And that is my commitment. It's not about the job. Because within the job, I have not seen the profit yet. Since I became representative, I have not seen the profit. every 1 cent that we spend in the county is not from the job. It is from other means of hard hustle. Other means of hard hustle. But since we went there, it took 4 years to pay all the wire fees for all the high schools in Greenville. We took 4 years. We took the years they gave us to build market buildings, youth centers, guest houses, in order to help our people transition. Countless, over I think about how many projects now? If I'm not, who or Patrick, about how many projects so far? Yes, the entire thing. I will have to come back to my senses to let you know. But we have not come to boast. My mission that I have decided to carry forth within my lifetime is what I have come to tell you. Now, many of you will misunderstand it, and many of you will miscalculate my intention. But it is not for me. The sacrifice that I have begun to do, it is on behalf of you. I could be content. They have given me 9 years. By December, 2 years will be done. 7 more years left. I could relax. I could sit home, go to work when I feel. Nobody tell me how to go to work and when. I'm an independent. And I use the word independent. I'm an elected official. I don't work for the Liberian, for the president of this country. I don't report to him. I report to the people that elected me to represent them. So if I decide not to go to work today, I don't. If I decide to go, I go. I can be complacent with the life that they have given me. But then I ask myself, what is the benefit for giving me the 9 years? I have been there for 6 years. I work with the representatives. A place of 73 people that behave as if they are 73,000 human beings. I decided to join the elders, where it constitutes how many persons? Yeah? It looked like 30,000 human beings. Our ideas are so far apart. The purpose of us being in those buildings at many locations has been driven away. It comes to our individuality, what we want, why are we there, but not the reason the people send us for. And so, I know they will come on me. I know they will chunk everything they want to chunk. But I have come to tell you today that we have established a movement. And this movement, we have gotten the article of the corporation, and we have gotten the registration of the Liberian government, and this movement is now legal. We call it our movement. And our movement and its purpose is to flesh out the reasons why we are poor and continue to suffer in our country. And I will say them without fear and favor, regardless of which political party you favor. My aspiration is to expose the truth, to give you the time to think about your life and why it cannot improve. I live in Newtown. I live in Lagoon. We all went on the beaches from there. The house I've been living in still stands. So you can't tell me about Newtown. Some of you are new in this town. We are the originals here. So don't see me wearing long sleeves now and take me to be senator who maybe just dropped. I went through the same thing you went through. I know everything about this town. And so, in our country we are today, The first thing that we are suffering for is not because we are naive. We are suffering in a rich country that the international community tells us that it's a poor country. They tell us that Liberia is very poor. So they will give us handout. They gave us $50 million through the IMF to support our budget. Because Liberia is very poor. We are on the scale of the, I think, 9 or 10 poorest country in the world. That is what they make us to believe. It has been making us to believe over the years. The second thing they tell us is that we, the leaders of this country, are responsible for your poverty because of corruption. We are very corrupt. And so they, the white man, is the one that likes you more than your brother who is also blind. But what I've come to tell you today, I want you to begin to listen to it, and I want you to begin to think about it. Here is the fact. The white men that we call our partners have over the years, before they met us as black men, they have been meeting their fellow white skin and have been enslaving them. As long as you're not on the European line, as long as your skin is not as white as theirs, you are not their equal. And so they grab the other men who are lighter than the black skin, and they were used as slaves over the years. Even the Chinese of recent in the great United States, when they were invited, when they brought the laborers in there to help to build America, when they used the Chinese, they got tired with them. They dressed as Indians, the American Indians, and they killed the Chinese until they almost eliminated them in America. Why am I telling you this? After they got through with the white skin, they were lucky to come and find Africa. When they saw the black man, they decided to forget about the similar skin of theirs. And they intended and they decided to deal with the black man. From the time they took us from here as slaves and carried us across this Atlantic Ocean, up to today, we can never get our independence. And so, as a matter of fact, they believe that there is somewhere in our brain that is a little bit different from them. That means that part of it constitutes our submission. So the black man is very submissive, and so whatever they do, there's nothing you can do because you are made to be submissive. The question is, who is a submissive person? So because of that, in as much as they gave us independence, we can play around our so-called political independence, which we are not politically independent, but we accept it because we say we vote for our leaders. But the economic liberation is something that we are denied. And based on that, the only thing they did was to put up a playbook that they follow and make us to be the way they want us to be. The thing we have in Africa is what they don't have on the land. The thing we have in our soil, under our ground, is what they want to make the country richer. And the only way they can get it from us is to put us under the illusion that we are poor and they are coming to help us. We will never be improved until we realize this particular point that I have brought up to you. We will continue to be like this. Our generation will continue to be like this, and the next generation and the next generation. Who is responsible for our suffering? Why our lives cannot change? Instead of you chunking us, understand what is the depth of our suffering. Corruption is universal. Even in a few days, if you listen to Donald Trump, what did he talk about the corruption? He even closed USAID down for corruption. You are intellectuals, you follow it. Their hands are not clean from corruption, and they shouldn't lie about it. But the fact is, in our country, corruption constitutes 20% of our suffering. For you, you think it constitutes 80% of our suffering. I've come to tell you, no, that's not the truth. Yes, people stealing here. But they're not stealing 80% that is making you poor. They're stealing 20% that are making you poor. Why the other 80%? Why are we not improving? The reason the other 80% doesn't seem to you as being corruption is because what can make us to improve our livelihood are being denied us. And how? They come into our country, they tell us, make this law, make that other law, make this other law. It is international best practice, that the word they use. International best practice. And what is the law they put into Africa? In many of the African countries, not just Liberia. What you have is not yours, it's for them. They must have access to it, but you that own your country should not have access to it. What they do is, look at our laws in Liberia. Let me bring it down to Liberia. They tell you that the minerals under the ground, they know, okay, we all in Liberia, no matter what year, I know what I'm talking. We don't have money to say, let's go and do mining. If we're doing mining, maybe we're just doing an illicit one. How much will we get from it? But for us who got 1 or 2 cents that can afford to come together and do it, they say no. And the only people in Liberia that really can afford 1 cent at least are those that are in government. Because no money around here, so your salary is the one that is a little bit bigger and you can be able to manage. The first thing they come to say, your officials must never ever invest in this country. Investment, they must be forbidden, so you make the law. And then our people make the law. As long as you're working for government, you can't invest. Then they come back and tell you, say, you know what? The salary you're making is too plenty. The owner, you say, yeah, that's true. I'm making $7,000. It's too much. They sell $1,000 too much, so we must cut it down. And you say, yeah, true. I get 1 cent here in Lukuta, then I fully men are riding big car, making $7,000. But our culture here is different from theirs. In the culture, there is nothing that says, please give me, please help me. It's not easy. It's not in the country. They don't help each other. Like now, I don't know you, but you can come to me as I'm walking up. Papa, it's not easy to do. Please help your people. Oh, Papa, it's not easy to do. My son's school fee. Papa, it's not easy to do. I'm going to do to the house. My wife checked the labor of my test. In the country, you don't do it. So the 7,000 that you hear today, you are shouting at us. The only way you enjoy that 7,000, unless you're not all actual Liberian, that heart, that culture linkage, then you become mean, and when you mean, you can't help. And when you can't help, then that money is enough for you, your wife, and your children. But as long as you are connected, the Liberian way is nothing like a $7,000, it is $7. Because before it comes, you're solving problems that are not even your problem. And so what am I trying to tell you? they have controlled us economically, that what we have to improve upon become theirs. I gave you an example to our goal that they are stealing from us, that they are exploiting from us, that they are corrupting from us. The wonderful Bee Mountain you hear every day, Bee Mountain in Cape Mount. They gave Bee Mountain, and first of all, the government of Liberia don't have the power to give anybody your mineral under the ground, according to the Constitution. Before Samuel Doe time, the Constitution that was in existence gave government the power to do so. But after Amos Sawyer then revived that Constitution, based on the directive of Samuel Doe, the entire Constitution changed on our mineral resources. Samuel Doe said the mineral under the ground is for the Republic. It's not for the government anymore. And who is the Republic? Are you that sitting down here? Citizens of this country. That is why today there have been some reform to support the Constitution, that even if government gave you concession in Monrovia, even if the senators and representatives gave you concession, the county you going to implement that concession, you must meet the indigenous that own the land in which you are going to operate on, enter into an agreement, strike that agreement before you can even touch the soil. The reason I am telling you this is because the only thing that we have as a human being is what God gave us. Where He placed you is what He put there for you to survive. And once you overlook what you're standing on, and you're only looking like this and forgetting about what under your feet, your suffering will never end. And this is where they and I begin to differ. When I tell them that these exploiters, these people that come into our country and control everything down to whatever God gave us, we should stop it. We should begin to nationalize what we have. Let it be for us. Let us hire them to work for us. When we hire them to mine, the mine become ours and we pay them for mining. And then we become richer. You don't exploit us and we look at you broad daylight. Now, for example, you look at the ArcelorMittal. Now that mine in Nima, that mine began to produce before I was even born. And up to today, Nima Mountain is still producing. Do you imagine the kind of quantity of iron ore that God put in that place to take care of our people? But how many of our people are benefiting? First of all, because we depend on salaries. And how many people work with Nima over the years that are betterly living today or living that you knew after Lamco closed? Not many. They just work their whole lives taking pay, and in the end, nothing they benefited from. Today, the mountain is still producing iron ore. And what are we benefiting from the iron ore? Our minerals, as long as we cannot take possession of it, as long as we are afraid that the white man will chastise us for taking possession of what we have, poverty will never leave our country. And this is the place they take them and they squeeze them. When Charles Taylor, even though he was a soldier fighting and doing his own craziness, because war is full of crazy things and they are killing him or being foolishly. But when Taylor was telling them about Firestone, they got angry. They don't like nobody to tell them anything in the interest of their own citizens. Then you become a problem. Then they turn your own people against you. So I want you to begin to stop thinking so much about we who are around here and start thinking on what the real problem is. They built a place they call the concentrator in Nima. Everybody was dancing. Everyone was in that place celebrating a concentrator for ArcelorMittal. The question is, what is this concentrator? What did they bring to Liberia? Why did they build it? Have you ever seen a white man building anything to benefit you? They built it because the dike and the iron ore that is digging from Nima Mountain is mixed together, and it becomes too heavy to transport. Number two, when it gets there, they have to wash it. Where do they chunk the dike? In the country, where do they chunk it? Their own EPA over there is more strict than the so-called EPA we have here. So they are going through problems in the country. Number one, when the ship that come to take the iron ore, the ship charge them per ton. How heavy is the one that they carry, the iron ore they carry? The ship don't say the iron ore is mixed with dike, and so we cut 50% from it. They charge you based on the weight of that thing you put it in the ship. And so they know they're losing because everything they carry is not iron ore. They are carrying iron ore mixed with dike. Number two problem, when they go there, when they finish washing it, where do they put the dike? Where do they chunk the dike in the country? The EPA giving them help. So they said the best thing, let's build this concentrator that can sift the dike from the iron ore there. The profit there for us is number one, anything we put in the ship is actually iron ore. No more dike again. So we're not paying foolishly for a ton of dike and iron ore. We are now going to start paying only for the iron ore weight. That's the first thing there. The second thing is, where do we put the dike in our country? Oh no, let's put the dike right here. So in the next 1 or 2 years, you will hear the Nima people crying. Their water will be polluted. Their fish then will be dying. And we'll just be sitting here saying they got factory in Nima County. If we polluting our water, let's pollute it for ourselves. They know that we killing our fish, we killing ourselves, but we're doing it for the Liberian people, not the white man. Not the white man. These guys in Nima County, and not Nima County, right here in Cape Mount, last year they made 800 million United States dollars. B Mountain, 800 million from the gold. Just B Mountain alone. Our national budget is less than what B Mountain made. But everybody wants to go work for B Mountain. But our budget, B Mountain, they sold our gold, and you know what they're giving us from it? Only 3%, they call it royalty. What is 3% of $800 million? Open your calculator. 800 million they take from your country. 800 million, and they give you 3% of it. Now, why am I going to stay under my ground? Why should I give it to you for you to give me 3%? How much is 3%? 800 million, you gave me 24 million. So how will your life change now? Where the money will come from? From the free port? Yeah? Please, we need an intellectual forum. Let's stop here. Where were your life change from? From the port? The free port during Ellen Johnson time, before Ellen could leave, she made sure that she brought a company they call what the name? The APM terminal. The APM terminal was never brought to help Liberia port. You remember that Tony Blair visited this country, the former British Prime Minister? Yeah. It was the deal between Tony Blair and Ellen Johnson. Now imagine we have our free port, but the government refused to invest into our port to find a crane that can remove containers and other objects from the ship to put on the port. But the strike of deal that they and Tony Blair can be making millions. These bosses I just told you about. Those 3 bosses. I wasn't here. I was out of the country when they arrived. So luckily, I left small money here so that they can free it. Because they don't give duty free for those kind of things. They only give duty free for your personal cars and your household utensils. S-bar, TV, bed, all the kind of small things in the container that duty free for your house. And then they give you 2 cars per year for duty free. But BB car then, truck then, Caribbean buses then, no duty free for it. So I left small money behind. I left some money behind here. Do you know to free those 3 buses, APM terminal alone took over $15,000. It has nothing to do with the free port. It has nothing to do with government customs duty. Only APM terminal alone took 15,000. Over 15,000. That means 5,000 per bus. Now, how do Liberians invest? How do Liberians easily bring things into this country? Where is the money they have to do so when all of us are poor? So they use our countries to keep us like this, and then they tell you that we are responsible for our own suffering. This is what I want you to begin to think about. And they make the leaders afraid to tell them. They make the leaders to be afraid. So the leaders, when they sit there, the only thing about the money they're going to get, the only thing about the surroundings and how comfortable they are, and they never focus on how to turn it around. They are all afraid to turn it around. That is why I got angry with President Boyka. That is why I got angry with George Weah. Our men, we are came from the slum. They see we all came from Nuku Town and yeah. They see our place. No different. Before he became a football star, we were all the same. Some of you here were better than him. They see hard time. No joke about it. Okay, God gave him a star. God gave him the luck. He became a star, a footballer. We became a president. Ah, my man. Now you become president, it's time for you to turn some of these things around to change the life of our people. The white man scare him. You remember one time they carried him to the States and the CIA had him in the headquarters for hours upon hours. You're here, but I won't. Now, how on earth can your president of a country going to a CIA headquarters? He should be in the State Department. Their own foreign affairs ministry. That's how they call it, the State Department. What is he doing? Like we sent for the Sierra Leone president, and our security people here need. Then he NSA building, hours upon hour. What's Sierra Leone president doing in NSA building? Sometimes you need to think. This is an intellectual forum. Intellectual. That's the need. So you must become critical when things are happening. Don't just close your eyeball and operate blindly. Open your eyes and ask the question. And ask the deepest questions. Why would they keep him there? Maybe we are wanting to change something. Who knows? Maybe I told you say that nonsense you try it, you know we got a thing against you, or maybe the other 1 year will do. So who knows? When he came outside, he never told anybody why they put him inside there for all the hours. The Boyka man, who I said to myself, okay, say he beat CDC, no issue there, but the way he old like this, at least he will do the thing and he will not care about death. Even when they want to kill himself, let him die for the Liberian people. The man here 80s now, they're not trying anymore. The Bible said they gave you 70 years to live. The Bible said 70. God made us to live. The 70 are how many years? 60 years. Then he said plus 10, 70. So when you reach 70, you're supposed to be dead. That's what the Bible says, unless you believe in the Bible. But anything after 70 years, there is a blessing from God. That's what the Bible says. The old man now reached the 80s. So you telling me he said still afraid to change the thing he knows that can bring help to our country? And he knows it. He's not naive. He been in government before I was born. They know the truth, but they do not want to identify with us on the truth. And that is the place that is fighting me. As long as they can pay government employees, will more end everybody in the country happy. But how many government employees can take care of us around here? How many of our family can give us money because they're working with government? The private sector is the key to driving any economy in the country. In any country, it is the private people. But no money in the private sector. Now you got an APM terminal that is so expensive to bring things in. So the only people that benefit are the Lebanese. The Lebanese, the Indian, and whoever foreigner in this country. They are the people benefiting because they have the money to bring it in. So they manipulate our entire country. They bring in the rice, they bring in the this, they bring in the that, and we just looking for the money to give them and feed them and make them rich and make their stomach big. The only way our livelihood can change is for us to change the policies that we have presently. And the only person that can change it is the head of the snake. That's why I told you 30,000 senators, 30 senators look at 30,000. 73 representatives look at 73,000. Because you alone can't do it among them. That's democracy, but democratic there. Everybody got an independent movement, they got their own party affiliation, they're projecting their own agendas. So the only people that can change it are you based on the person you elect to be president. Many times they don't tell you why they want to be president. And you just vote for them. So when you give them the time, they don't owe you any explanation because they didn't promise you anything. They always say, we'll change your life, we'll improve your life. That's the word they use. But they don't tell you how. And when they get there, they leave from there, you're still the same. Nothing changed. Because they didn't ask them, what will you do? You only voted for them because maybe you feel part of them when you're not part of them. And so, this is why I have decided that I'm not looking for friends. The only thing I want is my common people and I to begin a movement which we have registered for, and this movement must challenge the status quo. That's the only way our lives will ever be changed. So based on that, I will close down and then ask for your questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, Honorable Senator, into another concern. This is something that the people of Liberia are confronted with. You as a senator, over the few weeks, specifically August 7, we saw a mass protest. The Liberian people challenged the reign to go and question their leaders. Why is it that they voted the UP regime? Because there was a huge importation of drugs during the CDC regime. They wanted that change, so they went, they protested against drugs. So our concern is, what is your own contribution to eliminate drugs, and how can you refer the government on the front of drugs? Thank you very much.
Drugs, you go to their country, it's there. Around the world, is there. But the only thing I'm so concerned about is taking advantage of the people that don't understand that these things are deadly. For the poor man, he thinks when he takes drugs, His hallucination makes him to feel happy. During that time, he forget about his poverty. He forget about how poor he is. The mind just wandering. He daydreaming. Maybe he says something that he thinking he almost on his way to heaven. He and the angel and flying on the same level. That a short time, he still forgetting about his hard time. But when that thing clear from his heart, then he come to reality and say, oh, I mean, I stay around here, I won't go nowhere. So no need of me, I don't like to even address the kind of issues because the layman who do it himself know just this is not correct. And I come in to say, oh, why you do the one? Why you do the one? I tell you what drugs really is. Dangerous drugs are those ones that are manufactured in laboratory. They use science to put them together to affect your mind. The ones that they put a grumpy here, they take the other one, they put it here, they put the one, they mash it together, then they put it together, then they say take it. That is the one that's killing our children today. I don't even like to talk about it because one of my sons were affected by drugs. You born a child, but you don't born the heart of the child. The more you talk, as soon as you turn your back and the child go to school, it means different people there, you're not there. During the recess period, you don't know what to do. Coming from school to get home, you don't know. So we all must be praying. But for those that are the key distributors, I don't think they should be running behind the people who are just selling it from hand to hand. The ones that are importing them. And most of the DEA guys, you know, these few days I heard Booker sack all the 3 or 5 many type of them. That's a good approach. At many times, they say the CRD in the police station is the most criminal. Because he has to be a criminal to be able to understand how to apprehend a criminal. If you don't have the criminal mind, you will not be able to apprehend criminal. So most times the CRD are those guys who understand the criminal mind. And to understand it, you have to become that mind. So if DEA will collide with people, the importers, because they can give them extra money, because it's a fast business on our young children who don't have any survival skills in their mind, and of course, what do we say? So I don't even want to talk about it. All I require, we don't have prisons in Liberia. When you hear the word prison, people take it to be something that is so bad. But we don't have a prison system in our country. The one Saw Beach jailhouse that we get in Monrovia here, that all we got. Then they got one in Branch there, the state correction facility. We got jailhouse here. So you catch a criminal, you get him right to a place that is already overcrowded. After a certain time, the same criminal is walking right back on the street. He's not rehabilitated. So I don't even want to deal with that kind of a policy. That kind of policy is a policy when you are sitting in a rightful position, when you apprehend, not the one who is on the shot there. My man, what you say you get $1, yeah, yeah, no. And I meant to run behind. You run behind the man who bringing it from where he know he bringing it from here. When you deal with him, the one in other place that will not have the supply to supply. That's the issue there. And the DEA people then know who are those ones that are bringing them. So let's talk serious thing here. Let's talk about economic stability. Let's talk about how we can challenge ourselves and stop you white boys from exploiting. Look, the first thing they tell you is the black skin, anything black about you is evil, it is devil. Everything white is purity and is godly. So the black man, that devil. The white man, that God. So they make us not to like ourselves. We hate ourselves. Just the idea you black inside your mind, you don't like yourself being black. because of the psychological way in which, and you fail to realize that we the black are the original of mankind. The first man to ever survive is from Ethiopia. They left when that black race started migrating. That's how the races begin to change to the adaptation of life based on the environment. That's it. They left and started to migrate. And as you go further and further over years upon years, your body have to change in order to adapt to your environment. So in the cold, the nose have to be pointed. Because if the nose was wide like our nose, the brain will freeze from the cold. There is a reason our nose wide. Because Africa is hot. And if our nose were shaped like them, from those days up to now, our brain will fry from the heat. So our nose wide in order to breathe enough air. I am not getting you under any condition. And they know it. They have proven it. Evolution causes you to adapt. Evolution causes you to adapt. They say we are not educated, but education first came from Africa. They came here and saw universities. Then they destroy all of what we have. And today we are the key dog. Council with council, council with council, council with council. If we do not sit down and begin to pay attention to our livelihood, few men just come sit down on your country resources, eat small, they leave it, and after 2 months, all of us become poor the same way. When we're in a position, you will see us enjoying our summer will be big. Or take the job from us and 2 months pass. That time you will know we plenty in the country that poor. The long speech it mean nothing. The big car we drive it mean nothing. If you know, pay attention to it.
Well, because of time, we would like to transmit our last concern and then give time to the media to ask the question. So, Senator Duncan, you as a senator, and is known to be one of the CDC's lawmaker at Capitol Hill. So then rumor has it that you want to depart the CDC, like you already said that you are formulating a movement that will foster a total change that Liberia needs. We want to know whether the rumor is it true or it is fabrication that you will depart the CDC one, and we want to know what do your movement have to offer to the Liberian people. What change can that movement bring? And we want to know the name of the movement. Thank you.
It's a very important question that you asked. And here is the truth. When I was working at the central bank some 15 years ago, I decided to form a political party. I formed that political party. When I formed the party is now called MOVE. Many of you hear that party. As I was to hear that party, I was told that I was working for the government and it would be wrong for me to be the face of MOVE. And so I relinquished my affiliation to the party, because it was something that I felt very disappointed about, something that we took from the grassroots, and in the end, the manipulation took place. I joined the Unity Party. The Unity Party made me chairman for election and campaign, senior executive position in the Unity Party. When George Weah won his election, I felt within myself that somebody from somewhere that came from nowhere, we need to help him to make this country a revolutionary country. There was no need of me being in a party that had been ruling as bourgeoisies. And so I resigned that position, which not many people can ever do in their life, to be chairman for a political party as election chairman and campaign chairman. I joined George Weah with the hope that our poor people will be addressed. Over the time, we fell by the way. Over the time, we disappointed our people. What I have realized, political party is an organization that controls and make you to be what they want to be. In many instances, their interests supersede that of the people in which they lead. And so, what I told myself, instead of me being a puppet, only looking to survive, looking for favor, looking for friendship, looking for place to be, are too old for that. The days for that is over. If I were younger than what I am, right now we play in the football game. This is the second half, and this is the half of the second half in my life. June of this year made me 61 years old. And then I asked myself, the Liberian people made me representative. The Liberian people made me senator. What am I going to do for them? Do I be an affiliate, keep my mouth closed and be friendly with everybody, or be friendly with a group? Whether they screw up or not, I'm their friend. Whether we succeed, I'm their friend. I told myself no. If it costs me to move single-handedly in this world until God call me, I will challenge the status quo, because the only way our life can change is for them to change the way they think. It's not about taking salary on one end that will change our life. And everybody is so excited to pay a salary. Government employees. And I say, no. If I want to follow along, I'm comfortable to follow along. I'm comfortable to sit in the room. I'm comfortable for us to decide. Nothing will change for you if we continue in this country from the way we met it. It has to change. And I can't change it alone. You must realize that to change it, not me. I can only tell you the truth. I got so many information that if I begin to give you statistics, you begin to ask yourself if you have really been thinking well over the years. I have them and they know. When we meet, I tell it to them. And they will never tell you, say I'm lying one day. Everything I will tell them, they will never object. But to change it, they have the fear. So I ask myself, is Unity Party doing it? Unity Party came before CDC in leadership. Did they do it? No. Unity Party is leading right now. They're ruling. Are they doing it? No. They're still playing the dead eye. They still can't see what we are telling them every day. How to take our resources, how to stop these boys from exploiting our resources. And so, should I be with Unity Party? Hell no. My man own a business too. There's some kind of serious problem there. Now, if we give it back to him again, the question is he willing to do the thing that we thought he would have done the first 6 years? It's another temple question. The answer to me, if you give a man 6 years and he only have 2 terms, that first 6 years, he's supposed to show his commitment. If he doesn't, you gave him the last year, it becomes problematic because he's not coming back. So it's a gamble. Who are we giving it to? Are we giving it to the Liberian people or are we giving it back to him? Why him? For me, you give it to him or who you give it to? When Jarvis start coming, all I always sit down and I tell you, eat Jarvis with the raw palm oil. I will eat my own, my picking. I am now comfortable to eat Jarvis until God carry me. Or should I be complacent? Should I just be the one person there? I see my boys and I just, what's up? COD, what's up, my man? Transfer it for your man, man. Yeah, I saw my man, so let me get them to give something. None of them wants to change this country. This is the point that they have a problem. Whether you like it or not, you must know the truth. That when you go home, you should begin to think about it. It is wrong for you to just support somebody when you evaluate the person and not knowing that the person doesn't have your interest. Why should you have interest for someone who don't have interest in you? Look, here is our politics in Liberia. From Joseph Jiggin Robert time to E.J. Raw time, the mulatto people were ruling our country. And the mulatto people, that the slaves and the king, what made them to be mulatto to rule? Joseph Jiggin and the local white men. Why? It's because during slave time, it was only the mulatto children that were to be taught how to read and write. The real black-skinned slaves were never given the opportunity to learn how to read and write. So, in the mulatto, that the white men that were sleeping with our black slaves, those girls them, and they were impregnating them, and they were born those mulatto children. So they were training those children because of their blood to learn how to tally the catching when they come in, to learn how to make record of how many catching birds they have. So they taught their black children who were mulattoes. When they came to Liberia, the mulattoes knew how to read and write. So automatically they began to rule this country. E.J. Raw was the first black man ever to be president of Liberia. The very mulattoes who were ruling got angry to see a dark-skinned man to become president. They ran behind him. You know, during the day of militia, you're small, many of you know what they call militia. During the day, now army people, but they used to wear khaki. Those militia boys ran behind E.J. Raw. They grabbed him around Crown Hill there, and that was the first coup ever in Liberia. They killed him. They killed him, and then they wrote in the book and said he borrowed some money from Britain. You know, Great Britain, that was the first time that Britain ever borrowed money. It was during his time. So when he brought that money, they lied and said the man saw a ship in the sea going. He joined the water with all the money in the pocket, swimming, going to the ship. What kind of man here? Ship, way there going, then you swimming going. They said, how the man died? Because black man became president of Liberia. We have never practiced politics in this country. From that Joseph Jiggin Rawa time, it was one-party system. The second party that came was the Turi party to fight against the mulatto people. So the Turi party were the dark-skinned people. They were able to do what? To beat the few mulatto people, because the black skin were more than the mulatto skin. Turi party now, the first dark-skinned slaves, they started ruling, they started enjoying power, they refused to bring multi-party democracy. So one party rule until Samuel Doe came in and stopped it. 1980. So you see, no democratic practices since this country was established up to 1980. And many of us were allowed during 1980. So 1980, when Samuel Doe came and took it, I think 3 years after, he said he was forming political party. That time Duncan in Jackson told them. Still Samuel Doe pressed on Jackson Doe. Jackson Doe basically won that election, but Samuel Doe seized it. Still do no democracy. So the true democracy in this country began right here in our eyeball. with Ellen Johnson and George Weah. That was the first real democracy where people actually voted. So we don't know what democracy is because we have not been practicing it. That's why it's difficult to look in your friend's eyeball when you're talking to him. In Africa, when you're doing it, they say that disrespect. When you're talking to the B man, bang your eyeball down. When the B man do something wrong, when you say, Papa, you don't want to go, they say that man a rude man. So the culture that we have is keeping us the way we are because we can't face the truth. You will know the truth in your heart, but you can't talk it. You too small, man. Shut up, man. Go behind that, man. And so because of that, today, we still can't look in our leader eyes to tell them the truth. So where is the democracy now? 50 years after I'm dead, or 100 years after I'm dead, maybe true democracy will begin. But for now, it's difficult when you know somebody fear you to say it, you won't say it. When you know that you put an old man there who's supposed to be brave enough, he shouldn't be worried about death, he's still afraid of death. When you know you put a young man there who's supposed to be thinking about the suffering and how the people in Newtown and what the people name across there, how they are suffering, he jumped there, he forgot about the real suffering of our people. But when you're talking, everybody say, oh no, don't that kind of deal, that man I want milk. All right, let me join everybody too now and take my little salary and run my big car and forget about you. And forget about everybody. Then everybody just enjoy and forget about everybody. Somebody got to talk it. So you know about who getting vexed or who is hiding. If I lie, say, still do you lying? But if that true, say, yeah, what I mean said today that true, we need to begin to think. And this is my mission. My mission, I will take it around the entire country, from town to villages, and tell our people to re-examine themselves on who they're voting for in this country. Stop voting for people because you just see many people following them. Analyze the person, know if they will help you. And if they help you and if they keep and fail, look in the eye and say, my man, you fail. Don't come fool me here again. Or you old man, you won't buy. Don't even think about running again. Because if they, I just said they propping him, so he can run again. We got to open our eyes. I thank you, man. Let me go over.
Aluta, 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 aluta. So, he's Senator Creighton Omen Duncan, Senator of Sinoe County. What we have here is our regular intellectual day school. And I am Joseph Maximum Kofa, a Liberian activist. Thank you very much. So it is now time to take questions, inquiry, recommendation from our audience. Before we do that, I would like to rehearse on what has been said by our senator. Firstly, when he handled the microphone to speak to us, he gives a bit our mind of thinking that he's coming to boast. He just talked a few things about some of the projects he's about to dedicate to our people. He talked about the first clinic that the Putra community of Sinoe ever had. He talked about dedicating buses for the people of Kingstown because of their long distance to go to school. He also about the foundation of Liberia and agreed that Liberians are suffering. On this topic, he laid the basis that the project we have is a handout of 50 million allocation. And our leaders are responsible, and this abuse our man that our leaders are responsible for the sufferings in Liberia that we are all believing today. He said it is false and misleading. And he talked about the history of European racial abuse to Africans. He termed the Liberia independence as a political wrong, that the whites gave us a political independence to steal our resources. He terms corruption as a universal wrongs. And he says government steals only 20% and 80% go to international best practices. He talked about Liberia officials and not to invest by laws. So we should stop blaming why is it that our officials are not investing. He said that the Europeans control us economically by stealing our minerals, our gold, and a lot of resources. We recommended that we hire white investors to work for us instead of they hiring us. He wants Liberia to think about the real problems, where the lies they're thinking about, thinking that their leader is responsible for that. He discredited our EPA as being weak, and he revealed that our national budget is far low than what BS Martin gets. Specifically, they have over 800 million. And he talked about that the whites are the real benefactors of our resources. When asked on drugs, he said that drugs should be fought from where it is made or where it is coming from, and those who are importing drugs should be combated by national government. On the question of his departure from the CDC and why his largest is also to the UP government, he said he's going to run a movement that will champion the cause to educate the people of Liberia on who to vote for instead of just taking anybody. On that note, we want to take your views, concern. You can recommend, you can give inquiry just by putting it on. And we want to resign this message. We want to resign this. We want to resign this before the arrival of the senator. We told you that there will be zero tolerance of misbehavior here. That we have contacted the state security, and we're going to maintain that any form of misbehavior here, you are going to feel the weight of your action. That is not to fear you, but to behave orderly because we are in a formal intellectual gathering.